£159 later. Let's see how it goes. Oh, and I better pick up these keys because I don't want to be locking them in there. Today's video is all about anti-roll bars. Now if you didn't know, an anti-roll bar is there to control pitch and lean when we turn into a corner. Stiffer bars will reduce lean and roll, and a stiffer bar at the rear in relation to the front will help reduce understeer. So by playing around with these things, you can alter the handling characteristics of the car. Now, whereas many manufacturers would just opt for one anti-roll bar setup for a particular chassis, Porsche is different, and this is cool. So because I have PDK and PASM, I have a different roll bar than, say, a manual car with standard suspension. And if I'd opted for the PTV at the back with the LSD, it would have been different again. So in front of me, I have three different anti-roll bars from the rear of the 981. There are more. The others are probably less stiff than mine, so we don't need to concentrate on them, because what I want to do is I want to stiffen the rear to make it drive a little bit more like the 718 I drove. I also like the X73 package in the 987 I drove, so I'll put the links to those videos up here and you can have a look at them. Steering's more direct, it's sharper, and I like the small wheel. It feels better, it does feel better. It makes the car feel a little bit more agile for some reason. This bar here is solid, and it's the largest of all of them. It's what would have been fitted to the Cayman had you have selected X73. The 718 is also using this with X73. The middle bar is what the 981 would have come with if you had opted for the X73 package, and it's exactly the same size as my bar, but rather than being hollow, it's actually solid. So it's significantly stiffer, and the mounting points are beefed up, and I think this is going to be the one. I'm going to go ahead and fit the very stiffest one and see what it's like and report back. The car's all jacked up and ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the old bar. It's quite easy. All you need is a 16mm spanner, a T30 Torx, 13mm socket and wrench, and maybe a bar if things are a bit tight. I'm going to start by removing these brackets in the middle where the bushings are, and then we're going to move over to the drop links and remove it from there. And just like that, we're out here. I've taken the 981 to the same roads that I drove the 718 on. I want to see if this anti-roll bar that I fitted, it's the stiffest one, will give me the effect I was looking for. So nicer turning, a little bit when I lift off for it to tuck in a bit more, but I don't want any negative effect on the ride quality, and I want it to handle just as nicely over the rough surfaces of our local roads. So let's go and check it out, and when we're done, I'll stick the other bar on and we'll see which one's the best for my car.
So I've done some driving with both bars, and here are my reflections. Instantly, I feel the car is tighter than it was before. I feel more through the seat. I feel even a little bit more through the steering. I need less input to go into corners with, and when I trail on the throttle, the nose tucks in more than before. It feels like the car is helping me round corners more than it ever did before. It would always do it sort of mid-corner when you put the power down because of the mid-engine layout, but it's almost doing it at turning now, but not in an aggressive way. I would say that the stiffer bar was doing that more than the medium one, and for that reason I'll probably opt for the medium one, because the steering was maybe ever so slightly too sensitive like that. But you know, we're picking at hairs here. To be honest, you could go for either and be happy. But my recommendation is to go for the bar ending 14 if you have a Boxster. You could try 15 if you've got an LSD in the back. And if you've got a Cayman, definitely go for the 15 because it's stiffer anyway. The gap to the 718 is now less than it ever has been. And I think that's a good thing. I've driven it on this exact same road. I remember the feeling. I preferred the steering wheel in that car. If I did that as well, I think this would be really good. But I always thought it was down to the steering rack and things, and it maybe is, but some of it is definitely coming from the rear, the stiffness at the rear. So in terms of downsides, you know, one of the things that I was worried about was the fact that the ride quality might be impacted, or the car's ability to sort of soak up rough surfaces, maybe get a bit fidgety at the rear, but I can honestly say that's just not the case. I haven't noticed anything like that, no difference. The car's safety systems aren't intervening any sooner or in a different way than before. I think it's a subtle mod at the end of the day, but it's one of these things that adds to the experience, and it's nice to feel more through the car at legal speeds than I did before. So it's a really good thing to do. I recommend it. Thanks for watching. If you found the video useful, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and hopefully see you for the next one. But thank you.